Sal, 38, grew up in Chad, Africa, in a French colony. He had aspirations of becoming a lawyer. He worked hard, studied long hours with that goal in mind. Many days he would walk to school with no shoes and actually sit under a tree for class. This was typical in Chad where the economy struggled.
Cool. There in the village, I'm in bare feet. My first pair of flip-flop, I had it when I was going to high school. I never had shoes before. Yeah, some of my friends have to go to school. It's just under a tree. You just sit on your lap on some bricks and then you ride. You don't have those infrastructure. And I think it's, sometimes it's, yes, it's incredible. And I'm blessed to be here. And then
the blessings continued for Moursal as he was sent to college by his church. He studied hard and for many hours, and in the summers he would come home to visit. One summer, in particular, Moursal was approached by two officers from the government's army. They approached him and asked him to tell them where his father was. Moursal refused, knowing that if he had told them his father, being an army and a rebellious tribe, they would kill his father, and Moursal as well. Moursal kept this a secret, and the officers took him to tell him where my father was. Yeah. And I said, no, I can tell. I was with my sister. We went to she went to get some wood, and then I guess I went with her. Yeah. They arrested me, and then they started beating me. And my sister said, no, tell him where Dad was. I said, no, I can't tell. I didn't tell him. First they would go kill him, and then kill me too. Yeah. Not only was Moursal beaten, but he was taken to prison for withholding the whereabouts of his father. While in prison, Moursal had a visitor. It was his preacher, the man who had sent him to college. The preacher pleaded with the officers, and the officers released Moursal. Moursal and his preacher discussed Moursal's future and decided that Moursal should move on, and so he did.
I went to Southern Cat, so in 1990, at the end of the school when I graduated, I couldn't go back to the village because I said, hey, if I go to the village, then they might arrest me again. So I went to Sudan. They would just have the officers, the army in my tribe, and then I started fighting.
Moursal was fighting to protect not only himself, but his family and his village. The government was corrupt in Niger, and this was a big reason why Moursal wanted to. Moursal's job in the army was to protect the vice president. On one particular occasion, himself and his cousin were driving in a truck when they were caught under fire.
They started, arresting people, and then fighting started. So this is where I got shot. That's the bullet. Oh, and that's why I run away. So this day, October 13th, 1991. Yeah, I was on the security too, on the military intelligence for the vice president. I was assigned to the vice president, me and my cousins. Yeah, so I ran away. I went to Cameroon.
When you got shot, you felt it. Did you think it was...
Bullet missed me, that my cousin died. Oh. My cousin died. I felt it just went straight. I felt it like somebody just cut me with a knife. And I don't know if I was just too scared or whatever, but I felt like cold because there was lots of blood.
After this life-changing experience, Moursal was forced to flee and go into hiding. He was helped by the United Nations. They protected Moursal. In return, Moursal studied and worked hard to work for the United Nations. After he'd spent a 9-year stint with the United Nations, Moursal was offered the chance to come to the United States. With the chance to come to the United States, Moursal knew that this was a great opportunity to not only help himself, but to help his family and his village. Moursal knew that he would have to work hard and learn English to become successful.
97, June 4th. Yeah, and I feel I don't want to, if I came here and then there's opportunities, I don't want to leave my welfare system. Right. I want to make it on my own, and I feel...
Why don't you? What gives you that drive? Is it just...
No, because I don't want to feel like a parasite to somebody.
Right.
Yeah, as long as I'm healthy, I have my hand, I have my brain to work. I don't want to rely on the government to give you, and then you have all those conditions. And first, it's not enough to just barely put them to buy your food, and that's it. And if you wanted to be independent. You have to make your own living, and then you manage your money. And then I believe if you work hard, you manage well your money. Then if somebody is giving you the money, and then I don't think you see the value of the money. So
Yeah. 2 weeks after arriving into the United States, Moursal obtained his first job. He found it on his own, booking hotel reservations in French. Since Moursal has not stopped working. He's studying, he's working hard. He now has a family, wife, and kids. Moursal is a successful refugee. He says the formula is to learn English and to work hard, to not take anything for granted. This is something we can all learn from. Issa Moursal has lived in Salt Lake City for 11 years now. His continued success is warranted by his determination not to fail. I still have the scar that reminds me of where I've been and what I have survived, Moursal said. I know I can fight through almost anything.